Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It is a beautiful Thursday, July 2nd, and I hope everybody got a great start to their July. I cannot believe how June just absolutely flew by. Yesterday was Canada Day, so happy Canada Day to all my Canadians. We've got a long weekend ahead of us as well with Constitution Day, which is a public holiday for us this coming Monday, July 6th. And another very important announcement I have to make. Today is the last day that you will see Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest footballers ever, play in a World Cup game. So Croatia will be winning against Portugal later today. So that is my prediction. That is my projection. This morning on the show, we have a very special interview for you. It's an interview that I dreaded booking because I did not want to face the finality of it all. And like many, I did not want to accept that our deputy governor announced his retirement date for July 7th, 2026, so which is just next week. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And on that note, I am very honored to welcome our outgoing deputy governor and head of the civil service, the Honorable Franz Manderson, as we discuss his legacy of service, personal transformation, and professional growth over the last 44 years.
Thank you very much for having me. And good morning, Cayman. And I love your brave prediction on the World Cup outcome.
Thank you.
I thought that was really cool. Before I start, Kathy, please do allow me to just wish my dear wife a happy retirement. She beat me to it, and on Monday, she completed 21 years of service at John A. Cumber Primary School as an educator. So I want to wish her a happy retirement. Actually, on Monday evening, the school celebrated their had a leaving dinner, and to thank the educators for all their work. But they also celebrated my wife, Nuvia Manderson, Miss Bennett, and Miss Bravo. Between the three of them, they had over 100 years of service to the people of West Bay, to the community, as educators. And that is so special to see persons who dedicate their life to education. Miss Bennett had, I think, 4 to 6 years of service. Minister Anglin mentioned that she was teaching when he started school.
Okay,
so,
wow.
So can you imagine the length of service and the dedication? And I would like to give a big shout out to those 3 outstanding Caymanians who have dedicated their life to education.
All right. Well, congratulations to those ladies, those educators, and your wife on her retirement.
Yes.
And I
so
hope
we're looking forward to it. So like I said, we have a good plan.
Good. Okay.
And I intend to spend a lot of time with her and my children and my dear mom, and have a good time.
As you should, because you very much deserve it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you very much deserve it. So I want you to start with taking us all the way back to 1981 when you first began at immigration.
Yes.
Do you remember your version of yourself at that time, or what do you most remember about young Franz at that time?
Yeah, so for young Franz.
17-year-old Franz.
Yeah, so 16-year-old Franz.
16, wow.
Yeah, so started on my 16th birthday, 7th of July.
Okay.
And nervous, but full of purpose. And my purpose then was simply to make my mother and my sister proud. That was it. And to give back a bit to our household. My mom, a single parent, raising the 2 of us, was making tremendous sacrifice. And I watched my uncles, Jimmy Powell and Tony Powell. I watched my grandfather, how dedicated they were to their family, how committed they were to hard work. I was surrounded by hard-working people my entire childhood. I've never seen people skipping work. My grandfather was blind, and he used to walk to work every day.
Wow.
And I used to watch him. My aunts, my Aunt Izzy and Miss Florence and Aunt Ivy were teachers, and I watched them go about their day full of conviction and dedication. So I was surrounded by hard work. And my first job actually was at the age 11 in my Uncle Jimmy's cabinet shop. And again, at an early age, developed a good work ethic. My grandmother made sure that I, on the summers when I took up that job, it was right next door. I mean, literally a 1-minute walk. And she said, Franz, you don't get late. You listen to what you're being told, you follow the instructions, and you have good manners. Yes sir, no sir, please, thank you. And so I started my career grounded with that. In other words, I was brought up the Caymanian way. Hard work, dedication, respect. So when I started that job, I was nervous. I remember going there. I started the previous year as an intern, so I was coming back. I'd made a good impression as an intern, and I came back and was given a very sort of boring task as a filing clerk, but I was grateful for the job, grateful for the opportunity. And I knew that I wanted to become an immigration officer, but I was told I could not become an immigration officer till I was 17, so I had a year. And I found a letter that Mr. Bostock wrote to the central government from over at immigration saying, I have Franz is showing great potential, and I think he'll be a good immigration officer one day if we give him an opportunity. So Mr. Bostock gave me that opportunity. The people in central government gave me that opportunity. So young Franz was smart. Not when I say smart in terms of what it takes to be a good employee.
Okay.
I'd learned that. I'd learned how to be a good employee. And I was nervous and quiet. I was not a talkative person. I was very quiet. And people used to say that I was shy. And I guess I was.
I couldn't see you as shy, but
No,
I guess,
no.
at one point.
Yeah.
So
that
as
was the 17-year-old version, yes.
the 17-year-old you had set
16,
you
17.
set some really lofty goals for yourself as
Yes.
well concerning your career trajectory.
Yes,
So did
yes.
you always have a clear destination in mind, or did that sense of purpose develop as your career unfolded?
The sense of purpose did develop, and I kept thinking about the importance of goals, goal setting, and goals with dates. If you don't have you set a goal but don't have a date, then it's likely a dream.
Yeah.
So I watched my colleagues, the work that they did. I was very intrigued by the enforcement work, the work at the airport, but securing our borders, and I set a goal at 18 that I would want to become an assistant chief before I was 25, deputy chief before I was 30, and chief before I was 40. So those were my goals.
Okay.
And as luck would have it, I achieved all three. So that was, I got noticed and got promoted, and had to go to law school to get a good education.
Had to?
So that was not a barrier.
Okay.
So I, still while working ridiculous shifts, 18-hour days, 20-hour days, I still went to law school every day.
So how did you balance that? Because that's something that we hear often now, especially with you'll see a lot of people as adults trying to get a higher education now or obtain a higher degree, and working full time and raising a family. So how are you able to climb the ranks of immigration while still studying for law school?
It was a challenge, but again, by the time I I think just after I think just after I started law school, I got married when I was 25, and my wife Nuvia was an amazing support system for me, and I found out that if I could explain my learnings to her, then I knew it, because she would ask me a lot of questions. Well, what about this? What about that? So, the law is about concepts and what does these things mean and what does these cases, what does these cases prove? Or when do you use these cases to prove a legal point? So, I used to use her as my sort of sounding board to say, okay, I'm going to explain this concept to you. Ask me questions, and if I can answer all your questions, then I know the topic. But again, very late nights. So she would take the children and go into the room, and I would stay out there in the living room and study, 4 or 5 hours a night, trying to play catch up most of the time, and just dedicate myself to that task. But it was challenging. It was exceptionally challenging. But if you want to achieve something really good, you have to work hard for it.
Yeah, you do.
No shortcuts.
Absolutely. And I remember you saying in a previous interview, I don't even know if it was me, that the amount of hours you would spend kind of toiling through the night doing what you have to do your work.
Absolutely.
And so that had to have started very, very long ago.
Sure, yeah. So I told Chalo yesterday that I was looking at my I found one of my law books that I used to take notes in, and I was reading my notes, and my writing started to deteriorate, and then I found something that said, "Franz, wake up! Franz, wake up! Franz, wake up!" Because you go on a immigration operation 5 o'clock in the morning, and you have lots of action. People are running from you, and you're chasing people down, and you are then going to construction sites, and you do that until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then 11 o'clock you go to law school.
Yeah.
You're exhausted,
Yeah.
and then your mind is still on what happened to you an hour ago. So it would always take me 15 minutes to get my head into the classroom. So it was a challenge. I can't tell you how many times I got into the elevator at Tower Building where the law school was, and said, "Franz, why are you doing this again? Why are you doing this again? Why are you putting yourself through all of this?" But I kept focusing on that purpose. I want to make my mom proud. I want to make my sister proud. I want to make my wife, my children proud. And I want to be chief immigration officer one day.
And
So
law was the perfect field of study to
law was the
complement you
perfect
as
thing
chief
to
immigration
follow,
officer. Yeah.
It really helped. I recommend law to anyone who wants to excel in their career.
Okay. So, I know a lot of people are asking you about your retirement and what you're going to do after,
Yes.
but you're not going to go into law now, are you? Okay, just checking.
I must say I love the law.
Mm-hmm.
Could I ever? I will not rule out doing something with the law, but I don't want to ever go back to 8:30 to 5 again. I that's not my thing at all.
You did not do 8:30 to 5. You did
Yeah,
more like 7
exactly,
a.m.
exactly,
to 3
Exactly.
3
I don't think I've
a.m.
ever worked 8:30 to 5.
So you became chief immigration officer in 2004?
Yes.
What do you think allowed you to grow from the entry-level position that you started at to leading the department?
Yeah. So I got thrust into leadership very early, and I didn't understand it. But my mother said, "Franz, you were the man of the house from the time you were 10 years old. You were expected to do the things that a man would do around the house." So I did a lot of the heavy lifting and all the things that men do. I did the yard, did all the things that were absolutely necessary to do, and that taught me leadership. It taught me responsibility, and then I had these amazing supervisors at immigration that taught me so much about leadership, about care for the team, Miss Yolita Horton. I had, Miss Ella DaCosta, was Sonia Gold Thomas. Amazing women supervisors that was teaching me so many things. And then Mr. Oricona came along, and we were a really great team together. I learned from his leadership. So what is very clear to me is that when you see an outstanding leader or someone who is very successful, you have a choice. You can be jealous or you can learn.
Yeah.
I've always chosen to learn. There's no need for me to be jealous. I just simply want to learn. So I learned about taking responsibility. I learned about care for the team. I learned about accountability. My entire job was about accountability, about holding people accountable for breaking our immigration laws. So transitioning from accountability in that arena to accountability in holding your staff accountable was very easy. And people said to me, Franz, you should hold your staff accountable more. I'm like, what are you talking about? I do that every day. I just don't talk about it. And the conversations are held in private. I don't jump up and down and say, I had a very difficult conversation with so and so or whatever, or I held this person to account. You don't lead that way. You if you really care, you will have the courageous conversation with the people around you. I break it down very simple. Ms. Kathy, if I walked in here with spinach in my teeth, would you tell me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you care about me.
Yes.
Right? So you wouldn't want me to be on radio all morning with spinach in my teeth and not tell me. So if you care about the individual and you see them doing something wrong, you're going to tell them. And that came very natural for me from very early on because of the work that I did. So that helped me with my leadership of the Immigration Department. Going and working for a year at Walker's law firm to complete my legal training was highly beneficial. I got to work in the private sector. I had never been exposed to the private sector before. Growing up in immigration, I was just used to how government works. But then seeing how the private sector worked was outstanding. The level of efficiency that they expected, the support systems that they gave you to be able to be responsive to your clients, the attention to detail. But then I also saw a bit of fun, Franz, bring your shorts on Friday evening. We're going on a boat trip to Rum Point. And I was like, what? What do you mean? He said, no, Franz, we're having the afternoon off and we're going to take the team to Rum Point. I mean, that was all news to me. I didn't know anything about having that type of environment. But I took that back to government, and I took those lessons back to immigration. I took the lessons of customer focus and attention to detail, but also to have a bit of fun with your team as well. Always take care of the team.
I love that. We got to go to our very first commercial break, but we'll be back in just a moment to continue this discussion.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Hello, this is KK Elise from Swanky Kitchen Band, and I just want to say happy anniversary to Radio Cayman. Thank you for being the soundscape of our lives for the last 50 years. I have so many fond memories of Radio Cayman, and you're still my favorite radio station today. So happy anniversary and God bless.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are having what I call a very special interview. It is the exit interview with our still current Deputy Governor and Head of the Civil Service, the Honorable Franz Manderson. Now, Mr. Manderson, you were saying, we were talking about immigration and what you learned, especially from walkers, and taking it back to immigration, the things that you had learned and how they conducted business there.
Yes.
Immigration is one of the most sensitive, critical, and high-pressure areas of government. What do those early years teach you about people, fairness, discretion, and protecting Caymanians, protecting Cayman?
Thank you. That's a good question. So what I really loved about my time at immigration was I could immediately make a difference. So you found out that somebody was here illegally, you could go and arrest them and deport them. If you was at the airport and someone came in and you found that they were unscrupulous visitor who did not mean the Cayman Islands any good, you could return them on the flight. So as an immigration officer, you had this amazing ability to make things happen right away. And you saw a problem and you fixed it. As I moved up the ladder, then I became less operational and more strategic. So my job became to improve our laws, improve our legislation, put better systems in place so that our staff could do their work. So that became very important to me. But then I learned the importance as I continued to rise up the ladder. The importance of consistency in your decision making. So if I'm going to tell you yes, I have to tell everybody else yes. I have to tell them no, I have to tell everybody no. Don't bend the rules, don't make exceptions, just carry out what the law says. However, I also learned about the importance of fairness. To be fair in your decision making. That compassion is not a weakness, it's a strength. That sometimes you have to exercise. The best course of action is to exercise compassion. And people would say to me, "Franz, you're not being tough as you used to be." And I said, "No, I'm just showing a bit of compassion here, so that." And that's what's required at this time. But it means that if I'm going to be compassionate to you, I have to be compassionate to the next person as well.
Right.
Once the circumstances are the same, then it should be the same decision. It shouldn't be the person, it should be the circumstances. That's a very important lesson. I also learned there's no such thing as a free lunch, I just have a rule, don't take things from people, okay? Don't ask people for things. Those are very important lessons. But I also learned the importance of 10 minutes. A lot of people that came to immigration just needed 10 minutes of your time. And the majority of us have 10 minutes that we can spare to listen to a customer, whether it's a Caymanian, a non-Caymanian, listen for 10 minutes and see how you can help. And as I move around Cayman for the last 20 years, there's so many people that came up to me and said, Mr. Manderson, you gave me 10 minutes. And here's how this changed my life or my child's life. It happens a lot. And I just simply try to do my best to give people 10 minutes. And I do that until today.
You do. I can vouch for that.
Yes,
You do.
I give people 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And most people just need somebody to talk to and somebody to show some care.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been something that I developed over at immigration, and I've tried to take that with me until today.
I think that's a lovely thing.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing. A lot of leaders don't necessarily, I want to say, employ some emotional intelligence per se, and I feel like you do in your leadership style, which is really important, and it's recognized.
Yes.
It's recognized by those working under you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you did go to the civil service. Well, you became, you went to government now. So you left immigration.
Yes.
And in 2009, you became Deputy Chief Secretary.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big adjustment there, right?
Yes.
So a huge budget to handle, a lot more staff.
A lot more agencies.
A lot more staff.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, you became Deputy Governor and head of the Civil Service.
Yes.
So when you transitioned into the DG role, what did you feel that Cayman needed from you at that time in that role?
Yeah. So that day, I walked into that office after saying goodbye to Mr. Donovan Ebanks, who I owe a great deal to for his mentorship. We laid to rest Mr. James Ryan, last weekend. I owe those two gentlemen deep sense of gratitude. Mr. George McCarthy, former Chief Secretary, Mr. Lemuel Hurlston, all of those men that came before me laid the foundation for what I took over in 2012. And they did a tremendous job. But I remember, Kathy, walking into that office early in the morning, probably went into work like 7:30. I wanted to be the first person there. And I took a knee and did a prayer and asked God for his blessings as I took over that mammoth responsibility. So what I knew was that I didn't have these words yet in my head, but I knew that the Cayman deserved a world-class civil service. That was not the words I was using in 2012, but that was my overall goal, was to improve the performance of our civil service. Our morale had been weakened by austerity. One of the first things I was having to deal with was a salary cut, because the government could not pay its bills because of the global financial crisis from 2008, 2009. We were just trying to come out of that. The civil service were, like I said, they were beaten up by the public for not doing their jobs. And then they were hit with salary cuts, so that the morale was not where it needed to be. And I knew that had to be one of my first areas of priority, was to raise the morale of the civil service. It's very difficult to get persons who, are struggling to come to work to perform good.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
It is, right? So that was my first priority, is to let us try to get the team back on track, and let us get the team a plan as to how we are going to improve. And, that's when we started our strategic planning and looking to see how we could improve morale. And one of the things that I got from back in 2012 was we need more training. We need more accessible learning. I don't want to have to go somewhere. Can I just learn something at my desk? Mm-hmm. But then I got, from back then, DG, we have to improve accountability. The person next to me is not pulling their weight. Mm-hmm. So I knew I needed to focus on taking care of the team, focus on leadership, because with strong leadership comes accountability, and then look to see how I could make their lives better in terms of of pay. If you are coming to work worrying about whether your lights are going to get turned off, it's very hard for you to provide that exemplary customer service. So over time, we were able to address those things, and look at where we are today. I'm very pleased as to where we are today.
Well, in an interview with Ora Connor on For the Record, just Monday, on the 29th of June, you said, quote, "We have been able to change people's attitudes about the civil service in that it's a great place to work."
That's right.
So as a leader, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So I'm inspired by that. I walk around the halls now, and I see these amazing Caymanians coming into the service. I met a young lady on Wednesday, and I said, "So tell me about yourself." And she says, "I have my bachelor's, I have my master's, and now I'm finishing up my doctorate next year." I'm like, wow. And then sitting next to her is a young Caymanian who was already have her doctorate. It was just so amazing to be in the same room with so many talented Caymanians who in 2012 would not have come to the civil service. They would not have seen the civil service as a place for me to go in with a master's degree and contribute. That has all changed because we have focused on strong leadership, people that inspire and motivate their teams, that hold them accountable, that provide a safe work environment for people, that they feel good about coming to work. Also, we want to make sure that we emphasize customer. When somebody comes to a government department, they really don't have a choice. There is one DVDL, there's one CBC, there's one passport office. So you have to come. And that's why it's so important for us to provide you with that amazing service. Mm-hmm. Yes, in the private sector, you have a choice. If I go to a bank and I don't like my service, or I don't think they're treating me fair, I close my account and go somewhere else. Yeah. But you can't do that with a government service, okay?
True.
So when people come to us, a lot of times they're not at their best. When somebody goes to the Department of Financial Assistance and says, "I lost my job, I have no money, help me," they're at their worst. So we have this irreducible obligation to treat them right, to take care of them, to ensure that they feel valued and that you are going to help. And the good news is I could spend the rest of the morning telling you stories about where we have helped people in sometimes a very small way that has turned out into something big, but also how we have helped save their life. So it is so very important that the people inside the government sees that, but also the persons outside the government. So people now see the value that the government has, or that the amazing opportunity that exists within the civil service to make people's lives better.
And I think that's a tremendous thing to be proud of.
That's right.
Helping to change that work culture.
Yeah, being a civil servant is a privilege. Mm-hmm. You are going to be charged with solving Cayman's most difficult problems. This is where it happens.
Absolutely.
The elected government go out every 4 years and make promises to say, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to change this, I'm going to pass this legislation." But they can't do it by themselves, and they depend on the civil service to get it done for them. And we are now we are highly equipped to make that happen. And I hear it from ministers every day about how pleased they are with the performance of their teams. Are we 100%? No, we're not. But are we doing our endeavor best every day to deliver for the government? I think we are. I think we're working very hard for our elected leaders.
Okay, on that note here, you've served under multiple governors, premiers, and governments.
Yes.
How have you handled staying politically neutral while sitting in cabinet as the first official member of parliament?
Yeah, so there was our orientation day, and I did my last one, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday. I can't remember now. The week has been really busy. I tell them, as Caymanians, as voters, we have this amazing opportunity to cast our ballot for who we believe will represent us the best. But once your ballot has been placed, and a government has been formed, that belief and thought process goes out the window. You now have a government to serve. And whether it's the person you voted for or the person you didn't, you have that responsibility to serve the government of the day and being politically neutral. So thankfully, that has been a fairly easy transition for me. I think actually working in the elections office for a few years, I was a deputy returning officer, and I was a presiding officer. I always wanted to get involved in different aspects of service. So I actually, for a couple of elections, when I was over at immigration, I served in some capacities working with the elections office. And I think those working in those areas helped me understand the importance of elections and free and fair elections. So then when I transitioned into then central government, where I was working directly with our elected leaders, it really brought home the importance of being consistent. So the same effort that I put into a PPM government is the same government I put into a PAC government and now the National Coalition for Caymanians. Same effort. And I was so pleased to hear, every member of parliament, 3 weeks ago on a Friday, get up and say, DG, you have served us well. It was the government and the opposition saying the same thing. For a civil servant, that is the best thing you can ever hear a member of parliament say. And I have not recovered from that day. I was so pleased that my mother was there, my wife was there, my children was there, my family was there to hear it. Because serving the government of the day is what has taken me away from my family.
Yes.
So for them to hear that while I was away from them, I was actually making a difference meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
So they could see where I've spent my time and that I have spent it well. And it has been an easy transition for me between governments. If you just focus on the people have spoken, this is now my government, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it successful.
Okay, going to the family part of what you just said now. So it's a 44-year career in public service. Mm-hmm. So we know that, your 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. are your daily hours. There's a lot of public scrutiny and a lot of personal sacrifice. So what has this career required of you personally and as a family man? Because you did have to sacrifice a lot of time with family.
There's no doubt. So, going to work at 8 o'clock and leaving at 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, that's one thing. But as I rose through the ranks, Deputy Head of Immigration, Chief Immigration Officer, Chief Officer, Deputy Chief Secretary, Deputy Governor, my social calendar became busy. Mm-hmm. So if you are working, 10-hour days, and then you have a couple of engagements a week, and normally one on a Saturday night, one on a Friday night, one on a Wednesday night, and you keep doing that, it can take a toll. It can take a toll because, again, you're away from your family at night. My wife has had to adjust to all of this, going to all of these functions with me, being accessible, supporting amazing charities and amazing work. So I'm not complaining. I absolutely enjoyed meeting new people, representing the government at various functions. It's been a privilege, and I see the work that the private sector does in the various charities and how they make Cayman better. So I take my hat off to all our amazing charities that do some amazing work and do fundraisers and everything. All I'm saying is that it can take a toll.
Yeah.
It's going to all of these functions. So people said, DG, you always showed up. And I said, yes, but that was time away from my family that I know want back.
Right. Which is why people need to chill out when they think you're going to be entering, throwing your hat in the political ring, right?
I'm not doing that, and people need to understand. I said, but Franz, don't you enjoy going to the Ritz and to the Kimpton and all of these functions? And yeah, I enjoy it. But remember now, nobody's inviting Franz. They're inviting the deputy governor. Mm-hmm. So I'm working.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going there as Franz. No. At some point, I'm going to buy my own ticket and I'm going to go and I'm going to be Franz.
Yes.
Right? I'll sit in the back and I'll enjoy the function. When I go there as deputy governor, I'm focused on being deputy governor. So it has been a long ride, having to juggle all of these things. And again, that's where my dear wife came in always being there for our children if I was not there. She was always there. There are times when we went out together, and I enjoyed that the best. But then there were times when the children needed her, and I had to. But I was required, do the calls, especially during times of crisis with hurricanes and all these things, where I am having to work while they are they're in their own sort of preparation mode.
Yes. Now I got 3 questions left for you.
Sure.
So before we hit 9,
Okay,
so
I'll be quick.
You did mention is there was a lot of hurricanes. There was a global pandemic that you had to navigate. A rapid population growth, constitutional changes. Mm-hmm. Which moments tested your leadership the most?
So I've had to help manage 3 crises in my time. 1994, Cuban migrant crisis, 1,183 Cubans arrived in Cayman over a 3-4 week period. Hurricane Ivan as chief immigration officer, and then the pandemic. They all tested my leadership skills. Pandemic was by far, I think, the most taxing in terms of the unknown. So I knew how to manage migrants. I knew how to. I had been through hurricanes before. Nothing as devastation at Hurricane Ivan, but I knew what I had to do to help the country recover from those. But COVID was the unknown.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about a pandemic. We didn't even know about this disease. We didn't. There was so much talk around about whether you wore a mask or you don't wear a mask, and how do you catch this virus, and how do you prevent it, and that was a really big challenge, was the unknown. But again, it was those three incidents were my proudest moments in the civil service. Seeing civil servants rise to the occasion, and I was in awe to see how well we as a Cayman Islands, and not just civil servants, but the entire Cayman Islands would stand up when these major incidents happen and band together and achieve some amazing results. And I say it all the time, and the Premier keeps saying it, when we work together, we are unbeatable.
Yes.
And we shouldn't wait to a crisis to come for us to band together to solve Cayman's most taxing problems. So working together actually works.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
So 2 more questions
Sure.
and kind of 2 more minutes before
doing
Susan.
good.
I know I skipped the commercial break and everything.
Yeah, sorry.
So thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
And thank you, sponsors. So when people talk about your legacy, they may mention modernization, your leadership, the DG's 5K, of course. What do you hope your legacy will be? What kind of a legacy do you hope to leave?
So I set about to give as many Caymanians opportunities as possible. I mentioned learning in the civil service. You can now sit at your desk and do multiple courses on LinkedIn Learning. You can attend wellness seminars. You can do all these things. So if the only thing that I have achieved is to have made Caymanians within our civil service being able to better themselves and help them realize their dreams, then that's a good thing. Because that's what somebody did for me.
Yeah, that's true.
They gave me opportunities. I am very proud of the civil service being now an employer of choice for Caymanians. That has really made me happy. But the greatest privilege has been just working with civil servants and working with them every day and seeing their passion, their integrity. It's been absolutely amazing. The professionalism that I see every day in the civil service, and the fact that I was part of that, I am blessed.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of myself because I did not cry during this interview.
Yes,
as I warned you, this
well.
might happen.
Yes.
So my final question to you, as I started saying, describe to us who that 16, 17-year-old Franz was when you first started. So if you could now look back at that 16, 17-year-old young Franz Manderson, what would you say to him now that you would want him to know?
Well, that's a good question. What would I say to him now? Well, I think he first of all, he chose the right profession, being a civil servant, and I would say to him, you have never compromised your integrity. And I set that out as a goal, to never compromise my integrity for anything. And I can safely say that I got through that.
You did.
And that I would try to help my country succeed and be better. And I think Franz, the 16-year-old, worked hard to make that happen.
Wonderful. Beautiful way to end our
Yes.
discussion, which, I hoped as well would go for a lot longer.
Yes.
But, you're in high demand.
Yes,
I know this.
And I see a little tear.
I know, the little
Yes.
tear came, right?
Yes.
So I spoke too soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It has been the privilege of my life. You are one of my amazing civil servants. And I listen to you in the mornings, and I'm so proud. And I'm so proud of what we have been able to achieve in our civil service. And I want to end on this. Please give Ms. Gloria McField Nixon the same love and support that you've given me.
Absolutely.
And I have every doubt that she is going to raise the performance of the civil service and take us well on our journey to being world class.
I agree with you 100%. And more tears came. So great time for me to go to the slightly after 9 a.m. Headline news. But again, a big thank you for joining us, for giving our listeners in the country reflect on a career that tells a much bigger story about your growth, your leadership, and what it means to build a life in service to one's country. Thank you again.
Yes.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
At 10 a.m. today, youth parliamentarians are heading to the House for the first ever summer youth parliament debate. The session will focus on a private member's motion limiting social media for children under the age of 16, a motion that passed in the official parliament back in March. Today, the youth parliamentarians will present arguments for and against it based on their own research and perspectives. You'll be able to listen live on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. In international news, the boss of Berlin Airport has said non-EU nationals arriving in the German capital are having to queue for up to 2 hours under a new digital border system and warned the situation is, quote, not bearable over the summer. She told the BBC at one terminal in Berlin, where Ryanair and Wizz Air operate, waiting times can run between an hour to 2 hours. Under the EU's new entry-exit system, travelers from outside the bloc must register biometric information when entering most European countries, which is checked when they leave. Airports and airlines say the system is not working. The European Commission says it is willing to offer more support. And Russian forces launched a major drone and missile attack on Kyiv overnight, killing 18 people in what the city's mayor has described as the most massive attack on the Ukrainian capital. The mayor declared Friday a day of mourning and said around 90 people were injured. Although previous attacks have killed more people, this latest barrage deployed the largest number of weapons on the capital and hit locations over a very wide area. Several neighborhoods were evacuated as strikes rocked buildings throughout the city hours after the Ukrainian president warned Russia was preparing an attack. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiokman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are in the last part of our show this morning. What a great interview that was with the Honorable Franz Manderson. I absolutely loved it, and yes, my tears did come at the very end, right after I said I didn't even cry, and then boom. It's like I announced it for myself. I believe we have a caller on the line. Yes, Susan? Okay, so let's take the caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing? I know this voice.
Well, I was waiting for over half an hour trying to get through to Mr. Manderson, but I understood he was busy and didn't have time to take calls.
Yeah, we weren't taking any. I'm so sorry that I didn't express that coming back from the breaks.
I was listening anyway all along, so I just wanted to say a few incidents in my experience with Mr. Manderson, probably in the 80s. I had an employee that somehow or other had some error with his work permit and was picked up by the enforcement officers, and I had to go and face him to clarify this problem or get this problem resolved. And I must say, I was probably trembling, and I had to go to meet Mr. Manderson pertaining this situation. It was not deliberately done. It somehow or other, something slipped through, and he happened to be picked up by the immigration staff, and I had to go and, like I say, meet with Mr. Manderson and face the music. But, you know, he was so considerate, and he basically, when he was talking about compassion, I would say he used that when he dealt with me, and I certainly appreciated it. And again, I was on the staffing plan board, immigration staffing plan board, for a good while. And he used to come and visit the board, make sure that things were going the right way. He always took quite a keen interest in his job, I'm sure. And I think the island has been blessed to have him as a deputy governor. And I trust and I believe that this next one coming in, Ms. Gloria Nixon, Markfield Nixon, will do as good a job or maybe even better with the experience that she had maybe over Mr. Manderson over the years, or with him over the years. And I just wanted to wish him well. I know he's done his best, and I trust he will have a long and happy retirement. And again, I'd like to wish Radio Cayman God's blessings for another, I don't know, it'll be 50 years. I won't be around, but I know. And our church has been broadcasting Sundays every day, every Sunday, since I think it's sometime in December of 1977, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gracious to Radio Cayman even for broadcasting live services for us occasionally. Maybe a little more often than some other churches use it, but we certainly appreciate it. And I'd just like to wish you all, the staff has been excellent there at Radio Cayman, and all the best, and have a long and happy life with the rest of whatever time that Radio Cayman will be on, or with whatever time you all will be there. I'm sure some of you may retire probably before long. But anyway, I wish God blessings on Radio Cayman to continue. It's been a blessing for the country, and I would say try to keep it that way. And all the best to you all.
Thank you. That was such a lovely call from you. And, you know, you actually brought me to tears a little bit too. So thank you so much for all the kind words to Radio Cayman and the staff here, but also for sharing your experience with Mr. Manderson in when you first had to go deal with one of your employees being taken up by immigration enforcement, and just echoing the compassion that he held and the fairness that he had. I think it's beautiful to hear that, to hear other people's experience with that, because it's one thing to say, hey, you know, if I've employed these qualities, but then it's another thing for somebody else to say, yeah, I see those qualities in that person. So thank you for sharing that. It was a beautiful testament to Mr. Manderson.
Thank you again. All the best.
All the best to you as well. All right, we do have another caller online. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Quincy Brown.
Sir.
I should like to thank Mr. Franz Manderson for his exceptional service to the Caymanian people and to all peoples of the Cayman Islands. I, too, would like to join in my congratulatory statement in saying that he led us with great aplomb, humility, and with vision. Who is going to fill their shoes? Asks the country song by George Jones. I can recall working as a civil servant at Radio Cayman and having Mr. Manderson as a leader. And I would also like to say that I think he takes the leadership and the vision from his dear mother. Because I recall growing up in Cayman Brac when Miss Jenny Manderson was the district commissioner, the first woman to serve in that position on Cayman Brac. And again, with great aplomb, with vision, with humility, with godlike steadfastness, she led us on Cayman Brac. And for his tenure as the first DG, Mr. Manderson followed suit. So I would like to go on the record to congratulate him and wish him all the best as he retires, knowing that he will leave an indelible mark across the civil service and he will no time be forgotten. And on July 8th, it becomes official when Gloria Nixon Maxfield becomes the first woman to hold the position. Know that we, as the people called Caymanians, are behind Ms. Nixon Maxfield as well. Mr. Manderson, you did a great job in a loveless society, in a society where we have kindness, in a society where we have likability, in a society where we don't have as much love as we think we should have. Agape. So, be that as it may, you've done well. Because just imagine, in this Christian society, if we truly had love, what more you could have accomplished. Moving forward, we strive for love. Mr. Manderson, thank you. Good health to you and your family. And you do it not to get the accolades, not to get the excitement, because you're a humble man. But we have to say thank you. And finally, I should like to say thank you, Radio Cayman, for the 50 years of broadcasting. As we move forward, let us strive for love. I'm Quincy Brown. Thank you for taking my call.
Quincy, I hope you're not just going to hang up on me. From you said good morning, I knew that voice. All of Cayman would know your voice. We know that voice. It's absolutely remarkable. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful testament to the Honorable Franz Manderson. And I did not know that about his mother being the first, I think you said district commissioner in the BRAC. Did you say district commissioner? Is he gone? Is he off? Okay. I did not know that. So you taught me something new there as well, which was very interesting. But thank you so much for your beautiful words. It's very much appreciated, Quincy, and for your support as well. And yes, you were absolutely one of Radio Cayman's famous, beloved voices, which we're always happy to play here. Whether it's musically, whether you want to send in a little clip about something, whether you want to call in or engage, thank you so much, Quincy. I hope life is treating you well. We're going to go to, I guess it's our final commercial break right now. So we're going to go to our final commercial break, and I'll be back to chat with you for just a few more minutes on The Buzz this morning.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Hey, this is DJ Len from Radio Cayman 89.9 FM. One of my favorite childhood memories was when I was a kid, sitting next to the radio and waiting for that favorite song to come on. You take out your cassette tape and you hit the record button and trying to cut it off at the right time, right before the announcer starts to speak. And then sharing that music with my mom. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. Thanks for the great memories.
Grow your business with Breeze 105.3 FM and Radio Cayman. From spot packages to full campaigns, we've got rates that fit your budget and your goals. Email our sales team today, rcsales@gov.ky. That's rcsales@gov.ky. Let's get your message on air and reach listeners who trust us every day.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and we are in our final few minutes of the show. We might go till 9:30. We might wrap it up a little earlier. So I'm asking if you want to share any thoughts with me, anything you want to talk about, if you want to give any words of kindness, celebration, your testament to Franz Manderson, our current deputy governor, and he's outgoing next Thursday. I think it's next Thursday. July 7th is his final date as the head of the civil service and as deputy governor, and that will bring in for July 8th. It will be Miss Gloria McField-Nixon, who is our incoming deputy governor. And as Mr. Manderson noted during our discussion a little earlier, that we are going to be in absolutely great hands. She's a great communicator, a wonderful professional, so many years of experience behind her and within the civil service. A fair person as well, and somebody that also has compassion. So when it comes to fairness and compassion, I believe those are some of the qualities that Miss McField-Nixon endures. She has those qualities and more, and we're going to learn about it in her tenure as the incoming deputy governor. Now, I know she's worked with Mr. Manderson for a number of years, and I trust his complete faith in who is going to be filling his shoes, and she's going to be having to navigate a whole different set of, I guess you could say, problems or issues that really concern Cayman. Miss Gloria McField-Nixon is coming into a time when we are being very hit in the face, I guess I want to say, with AI. So there's a big AI revolution happening, and that's something that when it comes to how work is done, how we're going to embrace AI in Cayman, how that is going to change our future and how the Cayman Islands just operates. I think that's one of the big challenges she's going to be looking at, but a very welcome one, because it's very, very interesting, and it's something that countries all around the world are also experiencing. So interested to know, I guess I'm just interested to see what are the other big challenges that are going to come her way that she's going to be looking at and helping to find solutions to for the Cayman Islands and to help better life for Caymanians, for civil servants, and for the Cayman Islands in general. So really looking forward to having her as our next deputy governor, and she begins in that role on July 8th. So if you do want to call in just for the next couple minutes, you can. I'm taking calls now. I wasn't earlier. I couldn't with my discussion with Mr. Manderson. There was so much that I wanted to really talk to him about and get his story on. I've heard some other interviews with him. I know Charles Glidden, Charlo had one on Talk Today yesterday afternoon. You can always go back to our YouTube and search Radio Cayman on YouTube, and you can find that interview there. On Monday, June 29th as well, OC with For the Record also welcomed Mr. Manderson. That's a great interview to listen to there. And then you can really hear a lot of the accomplishments that our Honorable Franz Manderson was able to make during his 44 years in public service. So I didn't touch necessarily upon that in this interview because I wanted more of a story on who he was when he began and how he transformed and how he thinks he best helped the civil service and the Cayman Islands. That was a different angle I wanted to approach with Mr. Manderson. I wanted to really speak about his legacy. And I think that very much came through in everything that he had said. So it was a wonderful interview. I'm very honored to have had it. And I'm definitely going to miss him when he leaves the civil service. So I think it's absolutely amazing and very much a testament to who you are when all the people that I know have only endless wonderful things to say about him. So that's a great way to leave the leave the civil service. I don't know who's calling me on my personal phone right now, but you know I'm on air. Don't be calling me on my personal phone right now. My friends know better. So, as I mentioned, we do have a long weekend coming up for us, and that is on Monday, July 6th. It's Constitution Day. So don't be like me and be planning meetings and everything on Monday, because I was doing that, and I think it was OC who had to remind me. And I was like, thank you, OC, who worked on our Constitution. So he better know, right? OC knew, so thank you to that. I hope that you do have a great weekend as it comes. You know, it's Friday Eve. That's how I describe Thursday as Friday Eve. So for some of you, the weekend is kind of starting today. For some of you, it's definitely starting tomorrow, but it's a long weekend, and enjoy it because it's our last long weekend until, I don't know if it's November now or October, because remember, we do have a new wellness holiday, right? We do have a new wellness holiday. I do not know if that will begin this October 2026. I think there's been stories about it, but I'm not confirmed on that. So this weekend, this coming Monday, July 6th, is going to be our last holiday weekend. It is Constitution Day on Monday, July 6th. So take advantage of what might be your last long weekend before November. So my other big news for today, I mentioned it. And if you did not hear at the very beginning of the show when I started, today is the last day that Cristiano Ronaldo will be playing a World Cup game. A World Cup game. I'm not talking Premier League. World Cup. So, one of the greatest footballers ever, 41 years old, one of the greatest strikers we've known, absolutely phenomenal athlete, represents for Portugal, plays for Portugal. They face Croatia this evening. I think it's 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. I'm always getting the times wrong, so I'm going to pretend it's 5 o'clock in my head right now. They face Croatia with one of the greatest midfielders football has ever seen, Luka Modric, who's 40 years old. And this is also his last World Cup event. It is not Luka Modric's last World Cup game. Because today, Croatia will be beating Portugal. And I know a lot of people are like, wow, Kathy, that's a brave thing to say. But let me remind you that in 2018, Croatia went to the finals and lost to France. Let me remind you, in 2022, Croatia placed third. Where was Portugal? Not even in the top 4 in those. So I'm just saying, where was Portugal? So this is my prediction. This is why I think we're going to win. Of course, we're going to go back to my Croatian heritage with my dad being Croatian. Of course, I'm going to go for Croatia here. Oh, absolutely. Y'all aren't even Portuguese. What's your tie to Portugal? Your tie should be more to me. And this is what I keep telling the people here in Radio Game, man. Don't pick some random country team. The alliance should be towards me and who my teams are. That's how I look at it. So that's a big game today happening in World Cup if you are following World Cup. I know that there's going to be more games, but that is the one that I'm most concerned about. So that's the one that I'm talking about today. Don't know when we're going to watch it. It might be at home. My friend is going to be very surprised when I tell her, oh, by the way, this is what we're doing this evening. We're going to go support Croatia. So if somebody hears this and tells her, at least she'll have a little bit of time to prepare, get ready for Croatia. Learn what rakia is. If you know what rakia is, then you are very lucky. So on that note, coming to the end of the show, I've got a bit of a full week next week as well. We might have a minister on with us. We might not. We don't know. You know how it goes. They're coming on the 11th hour. All of a sudden, they're not coming on. So I really hope that doesn't happen again. We're going to see what happens. You know, we just got to be on our toes. That's what we got to be for everything in life. We got to be ready. We got to be on our toes. I was going to say a little something else with that, but I forget. Oh, accountability. One of the things that Mr. Manderson spoke about was accountability. And I was a bit jokingly going to ask him as my final question, what would you say to my mom about accountability? Because my mom told me a couple of years ago when I was talking to her, and I said, you know, accountability is a really big thing to me, whether it's somebody I work with, somebody I might be in a romantic relationship with, whether it's a friendship. If there has been something that went wrong somebody did wrong, but they are not taking responsibility. They're not being accountable for their actions. They won't even recognize what they did. I personally have an issue with that. I struggle with that because I don't want anybody in my life who's not going to be accountable. Why would anybody want people in their life who is not accountable? And most people who don't want to face their actions, they're not accountable. You'll never find them to be accountable. So when Mr. Manderson was stressing, accountability was a big thing for him in his career. He wanted to ensure that civil servants were accountable and to, he somewhat massaged that into the work ethic in the departments that he was leading. I think that's so important. So yeah, I did want to ask him, what would you say to my mom about accountability? Because she had told me a couple years ago, Kathy, if you want your friends to be accountable, for example, expect to have no friends. And I was like, Mom, that's really harsh to say. She goes, expect to have no friends. You'll rarely find people who want to be held accountable. And that's something that I think we should reflect on. Accountability. What does it mean to you? Is it important to you? Should we all be accountable? Should we all be taking responsibility for our words, our actions, even our thoughts? Because thoughts turn into actions. So accountability, I'm gonna rest that with you. It's one of the favorite things that I heard Mr. Manderson talk about that really mattered to him, because it matters to me as well, and I hope it matters to you. On that, have a great Thursday, and I'll be back with you next week on The Buzz.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's